Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to be doing the UFC 302 post-event breakdown. And the reason it took me like an extra 2 hours is I wanted to watch some of the post-fight press conference stuff, and at that point I was like, yeah, there's some good content Dana White's giving me with this one. And we'll get to some of the stuff that Mr. Dana White said that is a oilable offense, but I'm going to speedrun some of these fights and just give my thoughts and feelings on the prelims all the way up to the main event. And then we'll talk about what Mr. Dana White said. Now, first off, we're going to be going with the Mitch Raposo versus Andre Lima. Andre Lima was the dude that got bit and got the holy shit, I just got bit bonus. And I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. I picked Mitch Raposo to win this one. And, listen, is it a split decision? Yeah. Is it kind of crazy? Yeah. Is it the same judge that scored it for Paulo Costa later on? Yes. And we'll talk about that because I think that's one of the worst scorecards I have ever seen in my time of watching this sport, comparable to a Corey Sandhagen versus Chito Vera. But as far as this fight, I almost give him a pass. Not because I believe he was right and Mitch Raposo won, but because Andre Lima is a dirty fighter. How fitting that his first win in the UFC was against somebody that fucking bit him. This man, in the new UFC gloves, and I know for a fact somebody's talking to him backstage, bro gets 2 eye pokes. We changed the gloves. The ones where the logos actually just comes off. We'll talk about that too. Yeah, this guy got 2 eye pokes. I am not a fan of Andre Lima. I'm not a certified hater of Andre Lima. Andre Lima is an absolutely massive 125er and should not be fighting at that division. Go up to 135. You are too damn big. Mitch Raposo is 5'5". It went how you thought it was going to go. Andre Lima was keeping him at distance, drilling his legs with leg kicks, absolutely throttling them to the point that he would just throw a leg kick and Mitch Raposo would be switching guards, hands up, terrified. Mitch Raposo did do good in some of the exchanges, but not enough, in my opinion, to score him as a winner. Bad judges. Andre Lima gets it done. Not a great fight, I'll just admit it. I'm not even doing the tier list because this card was mid. But yeah. Next up, Battle of the OnlyFans. Aylin Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards. I flipped a coin, and I got Aylin Perez, and it turned out to be correct. Where do I begin? Thunder thighs and judo throws. That's how I would describe this fight. Aylin Perez has really good judo, a really good outside trip, a really good uchimata. Outside of that, pretty mid fight. This was a great bathroom break, and yeah, like I don't have much to say about this one. Aylin Perez versus Jocelyn Edwards. Edwards was getting angry, I guess, because she didn't want to twerk with Aylin Perez. You think I'm joking? No. Aylin Perez hit a beautiful spinning back fist, but outside of that, it was pretty much judo throws and half guard. Other than that, pretty mid. Now, moving out of mid, Basil Chavez versus Mickey Gall. Wow. Basil, I'm just going to call him Basil, bro. Basil is over here looking like Ivan Drago, is the most Dagestani-looking American I have ever seen in my days. It got to the point that after he won the fight and he goes on the microphone, and he hits me with the most New Jersey accent I have ever heard in my life, okay? I was shook for a second. I expected, full-heartedly, him to grab that microphone and say, "Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching me fight Mickey Gall." No, bro, this sounds like a guy named Mike from Jersey. Mickey Gall did way better than I thought he did. Mickey Gall comes back after a 2-year layoff. I might be getting that one wrong. All I know is he lost to Mike Mallet, which, yes, I will be trolling Mike Mallet. And Diego Sanchez. I'm sorry. I can excuse the Mike Mallet loss. Losing to Diego Sanchez at that tail end of his career when bro was literally involved with a fucking cult? I'm sorry, I can't excuse that. Mickey Gall lost to him. Came off an injury, a surgery, comes back to Basil Chavez, and Basil got it done. Judges got this one right. -3-1 though. Kind of crazy. Mickey Gall was getting the better of him in some of the exchanges later on. Mickey Gall still has a chin. How? Bro was getting lit up. Personally, one of my favorite fights on here. And First off, they deserve a bonus. They are fighting on the early prelims, and Islam Makhachev gets a fight of the night and a performance bonus? What? The Basil over here is fighting his damn heart out. Give this man something. Phil Rowe versus Jake Matthews. Phil Rowe, if you don't know, was the guy who got triangled by Craig Jones at Karate Combat and got staph infection after that. And Craig Jones called him back and said, got you twice. You think I'm kidding? I'm not kidding. Jake Matthews is the grappler from down under. And Jake Matthews did pretty good. I was impressed by the striking of Jake Matthews. Let me just say that right now. Jake Matthews, outside of a few instances, kind of controlled this fight. It was a pretty easy unanimous decision. And if you want to know picks, I'm barely counting this because I didn't make a pre-fight breakdown for it because laziness, I'm sorry. The only fight that I've gotten wrong up till this point was I thought Mitch Raposo was going to win. Everything, I said Aylin Perez won, and I was going to say Basil won, and I did pick Jake Matthews to win. I thought it was going to be closer than it was, and I was worried for the striking of Jake Matthews, but Jake Matthews just has like this random striking style. I know that sounds like a casual take, but that's the best way I can describe it. It shouldn't work, but it does. And he hit Phil Rowe with a nutshot with his thumb. Like that. So Phil Rowe throws a flying knee, and Jake Matthews puts his hand up, and he like puts his hand out like distance measuring, and barely just collides with the nuts of Phil Rowe, and somehow that was enough to stop the fight for a little bit. Very, very strange. Grant Dawson versus Joe Selecki. I said this before. If Grant Dawson somehow lost this fight, I would make a full 5-minute video explaining why Grant Dawson should be cut from the UFC. He won, and he participated. Listen. I picked Grant Dawson to win. I have every reason to be like, I knew it. But damn, this fight was bad. When you got Daniel Cormier, Mr. I think there should be more wrestling in a BMF title fight, talking about how, I said, listen, I didn't come to watch this shit. I came to watch fighting. I'm not kidding you. He didn't say it in this fight. He said it in the fight afterwards. 100% it was because of this Grant Dawson fight. Grant Dawson wrestled the entire fight. Listen, Grant Dawson was so boring that he is worse than Dagestani fighters. Like, understand this. When people, like, hate on Dagestani fighters for being boring, Exhibit A, Grant Dawson is, terrible. What a bad fight, dude. And honestly, like, I'm sounding cranky because this was overall a super mid-card, and Grant Dawson just contributed to it. Absolutely awful. Good win, though. Jelton Almeida versus Alexander Romanov. I picked Alexander Romanov purely out of spite because I wanted Jelton Almeida to get humbled. Jelton Almeida, this is how funny it was, bro. So Jelton Almeida took Alexander Romanov basically down at will and was controlling just about every moment of this fight. And then you had Daniel Cormier. Keep in mind, we are not even halfway through the round. We are not even halfway through round one. Daniel Cormier says watching Jelton Almeida just control Alexander Romanov before the choke hit set in. Listen, Joe, I like wrestling, but I didn't come here to watch wrestling. I came here to watch some fighting. These guys need to pick it up. Bro, how brutal. Also, Jelton Almeida got kicked off the main card because nobody was going to watch that. Jelton Almeida does submit Alexander Romanov and just proves that, yeah, if you have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you might be a title contender. I don't even care what he does next, to be honest with you. Next up, Roman Kopylov versus Cesar Almeida. Cesar Almeida has a win over Alex Pereira in a kickboxing, and I still picked Roman Kopylov because Roman Kopylov is the Russian Chase Hooper. This man came in there and was lighting up Cesar Almeida in the first round. In the first round. Outside of that, Roman Kopylov tapped into his inner Dagestani and was basically taking him down at will. And this is a scenario where I don't mind the wrestling because Roman Kopylov was participating in the striking all the way up until the end. I would say the cardio of Cesar Almeida is impressive. He was able to keep it up. The grappling of Cesar Almeida is like amateur level at best. This man was getting hit with some of the most half-assed takedowns I've ever seen in my life. Roman Kopylov, some of the first few takedowns, bro, like would keep him at distance with a jab, would come in 1-2, easy double leg, easy single leg. By the end, bro was just getting body lock trips, and it was easy, bro. Roman Kopylov gets an easy win. Split decision is absolutely insane. These judges need to be lined up right outside the arena, and we need to start questioning them, CIA style. Now, we go to the main card. Randy Brown gets this one done. I am actually kind of disappointed. I wanted Randy Brown to get a finish. He did not. Just participated in this card just being absolutely boring. Randy Brown is one of the craziest, like, athletic specimens at welterweight right now. Has a win over the King of Kung Fu. That's a Russian fighter, by the way. So when I heard that he was fighting Elizu Zaleski dos Santos, bro, how do you have a Ukrainian and Brazilian name? I thought Randy Brown was going to get this one done and get it done rather easily with a finish, but I mean, I was right with my prediction, but I was wrong with the means, and that kind of stings because I do like Randy Brown. Next up, Nico Price versus Alex Morono. I got this one wrong, boys. I picked Alex Morono because Nico Price got beat by Robbie Lawler on his final fight. Nico Price proved he's not terrible, but again, outside of a few cool exchanges, it was kind of just a boring fight. Like, this was just not a good card, dude. It really wasn't. I was not impressed with this card. And in all honesty, I understand why people were disappointed with this card going into the final 3 fights. And I'm kind of glad that we're going to end it off with these 3 because these definitely have the most to talk about. Kevin Holland woke everybody up in that arena and everybody watching that pay-per-view because he was trying to take the arm off of Mikhail. I'm not even going to say his last name. He's from Poland, by the way. Kevin Holland, yeah, referee. You did a good job. Thank you for not doing Jamal Hill versus Paul Craig Part 2. Kevin Holland absolutely destroyed the arm of Mikhail and damn near took it home as a souvenir. Kevin Holland beats Mikhail and then gives a fist bump over to Donald Trump that's just chilling out in the fucking stands, bro. Kevin Holland did good. Performance of the night, guaranteed. Thank you. You woke everybody back up. Now, Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Understand, as a Strickland fan, if I'm going into a Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa matchup, and your mindset is that this is going to be anything other than Strickland keeping Paulo Costa at distance for the entirety of the fight for 5 rounds, by the way, I don't know what you were expecting. Strickland was not going to finish Paulo Costa. If somebody was going to finish anybody, it was going to be Paulo Costa by spinning back kick KO. But Strickland did exactly what I thought he was going to do. Win a very handed decision, 4-1, very, very easily. Like, you could rule, maybe, if you are coping, 2 rounds for Paulo Costa. Like, that is it. But some dude, the same guy who ruled Lima losing, picked Paulo Costa to beat Strickland. You need to lose your job. I legitimately believe that. You should not be judging any type of event where any type of money is up for grabs. You need to go back for what is MMA Little League. There's absolutely zero excuse to rule Paulo Costa as the winner of this fight. I have no clue in what world you could say that's a true thing. And the funniest part about it is there's absolutely zero. There's nobody coming to this judge's defense because they are all aware that is absolutely astonishing that you could rule it for Paulo Costa. Strickland dog-walked Paulo Costa for 4 rounds. Very, very easily, I might add. Because Paulo Costa does not have that same dog. Like the dog will be resurrected every once in a while. The dog did not come out to fight this round. Paulo Costa, the only reason Paulo Costa could have won is because Paulo Costa, Strickland, you can talk all the shit about Strickland that you want. The one thing I will always give Strickland is Strickland knows how to fight strikers. I think he beats Israel Adesanya again, frankly, because I think he knows how to fight these guys. He's aware that Paulo Costa is going to go back, and then he's going to blitz forward, and then he's going to most likely get finished off of that. Or Paulo Costa is going to get a finish off the initial blitz. Strickland knew this and was just walking down Costa the entire fight, waiting for him to blitz that never came, and Paulo Costa was terrified of getting finished by Strickland. That's what happened. Strickland won a very, very easy decision. People were calling it boring. If you can call this fight boring, you blame it on Costa, because we knew what Strickland was going to do. We thought Costa was going to do better. And if you ruled it a split decision, you immediately need to lose your job. And to our main event, Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Fight of the night. I don't care. Performance bonus? Probably not to Islam Makhachev. In my opinion, I think you can make a better case it goes to Basil other than Islam. Understand this. I picked Dustin Poirier out of complete faith. Listen, it was a meme pick. I'll take the last thing on there. I only got 2 fights wrong. I can get another one wrong. I don't really care on that percentage. Dustin Poirier did so much better than I thought he was going to do. He made this fight competitive going into the 5th round. Now, if you ruled that Dustin Poirier was going to win this fight, I'm sorry that you're coping. That is absolutely insane. I want to check your wallet to see if you're part of the Gilly gang. Dustin Poirier was not going to win a decision. It was not that close. Islam Makhachev easily was winning this fight outside of a few exchanges. And I will give credit to Islam Makhachev for making this a fun fight, okay? He participated in a slugfest, and bro openly roasts the rest of the card in the post-fight press conference, straight up saying that this card was good because of me, because I participated and make the Dustin Poirier fight good. And people came in and were like, well, actually, it was Dustin Poirier who made the fight good. It takes 2 to tango, brother. We saw that with Strickland versus Paulo Costa. Costa wasn't trying to tango. Dustin Poirier, we knew, was down for a fight. Islam Makhachev was down for a scrap. And we ended up getting a good fight because of it, because both opponents in there were going to give us a good fight. And that's why I do believe they got it right with Fight of the Night bonus on this one. So Dustin Poirier retire. In my opinion, I'm not really sure. Unless Dustin Poirier wants to get a money fight with Max Holloway, wants to have a good legacy matchup with like Colby Covington. I think from this point onward, Dustin Poirier should focus on fights that get him the absolute most amount of money and not focus on trying to get a belt. As much as I hate to say it, I don't think Dustin Poirier will ever win a title in his career. I think we're out of that point, and I think now maximize money as much as you can. Conor McGregor still wants to fight you. Why not run it back and finish, bro? I think that's a pretty good money decision right there. But if Dustin Poirier wants to call it quits, I mean, he has a good business, he has a family, I understand that decision. But that goes into the press conference, and I might make a whole video dedicated to that now that I think about it. You know what? I'm actually going to save that for another video. However, here's the hook into that other video. Dana White says that as of right now, Jon Jones not only should still be the #1 greatest pound-for-pound fighter in the UFC, but for any reason, if you have Islam Makhachev above Jon Jones at this point in time, you have no business creating a ranking. And I'm gonna be real with you. When Dana White said that, I don't even know what to say to that. Like, you can make the argument that Jon Jones, when he beats Stipe Miocic, fine, maybe you can put him up above Islam for like a second. But to say that Jon Jones should still be #1 after Islam Makhachev beat Alexander Volkanovski twice and beat Dustin Poirier, who were in the pound-for-pound rankings after beating Charles Oliveira, and Jon Jones should still be above Islam purely because he submitted Cyril Gane, is one of the craziest instances of Dana White privilege I have ever seen. I am a certified Dagestani hater. Islam Makhachev, in my opinion, is the greatest fighter in the UFC as of right now and should be represented as the #1 in the pound-for-pound rankings. But that is your hook into the video that I'll be making in a few hours now. Overall, mid-card. I would probably say 5, 6 out of 10. This is not a card that you would pay $70 for. Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier was the best fight on the card. No questions. And Islam Makhachev wants to fight Leon Edwards. If Bilal Muhammad loses, or if Leon loses to Bilal, Islam Makhachev wants to fight the winner for the welterweight title, and he wants that to be his next matchup. That's a very interesting decision. And I can see the UFC chomping at that purely because Ali Abdelaziz is the manager of Islam Makhachev. I can see that playing out unless Bilal Muhammad wins the title. But there you go. That is my thoughts on UFC 302. Tell me what you think in the comment section down below. And thank you, everybody, who has been viewing and subscribing so far. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Adios.